In the last lesson, we borrowed this expression from another component. So now we have this expression in two places. And that means next time we're going to build a component where we need to set the default font. Again, we have to copy this expression. With this approach, if you want to change the default font, we have to dig all over the place and update all instances of this expression. So let me show you how we can extract our default styles and put them in a single place. Here in our project, inside the config folder, we add a new file called styles.js. Now, back to app text input. I'm going to copy this object. So this is where we're defining the default styles for our text. We want our text to be dark gray. We want it to be 18 pixels in size. And here's where we specify the default font depending on the current platform. So let's copy this object and paste it over here. Now on the top, we're going to import the platform API from React Native. We should also import the colors palette from the current folder because we're referencing it here. Now, we're going to export a default object. So this object represents our default styles. Now here we can have default styles for various aspects of our app. For this lesson, for this demo, I'm going to add an object here called text. And this is where we specify the default styles for our text. Now save the changes. We go back to our app text component. We no longer need this object, so let's delete it. Now, on the top, here we import our default styles from the config folder. And then over here, we set the style to default styles dot text. As simple as that. Now let's test our app. Everything works exactly like before. So let's go to our app text component. We should refactor this component and use our default text styles. So on the top, we import default styles from, we go up to the config folder and load the styles module. Now here we set default styles, the text. And with this, we no longer need this object over here. It's defined in a single place. And that means we no longer need these two APIs either. So our component is cleaner and more maintainable. Now we could also take this to the next level. So here in the styles object, we can add another property called colors and set it to our color palette. Or we can use the shorthand syntax. There is no need to repeat this. So we just type colors. Now, anywhere we import the default styles, we also have access to our color palette. For example, in app text input.js, let's see where we have used our color palette. So here's one reference, colors.medium. We can replace this with default styles.colors.medium. Let's see if we have any other references. Yes, we have one more reference. So let's prefix this with default styles. Good. Now we don't need to import our color palette anymore. So this simplifies our code. Beautiful.